Hello and welcome to the show. Yes, this is live where anything can happen. This week, we're discussing how to use video to build trust with prospective and current customers. We'll be returning to our video series next week with Gary Twinings-Wright, where we'll be discussing how his video production went with behind the scenes clips. I'm also once again joined by our highly respected digital marketing expert and entrepreneur, Olando Salina. How are you doing today, mate?
I am great, thank you very much. Working from home, so I'm a bit more relaxed today.
Yeah, I'm always kind of wondering where you're going to be. You know, you're going to pop up in some supermarket trolley next or something.
I can work on that if you'd like.
So, um, let's just flick back over to here. So thanks, Orlando. So I'm Timothy Spiers, content creator and marketeer, and I run Slipstream Creative Agency. We're here every Tuesday at 12:30 discussing video marketing and production and all that good stuff. The purpose of this channel is to demystify video marketing and help all you guys create better purpose-driven content that is distributed effectively, creating better businesses for a better world. So guys, please let me know where you're from and what industry you're in. It's always nice to know who we're connecting with. So trust is a key component in every brand's relationship with its audience, right? And in order to build and maintain credibility and attract customers, build relationships with loyal fans of the brand, and ultimately sell your products and services to them, they must first trust you. These days, trust is more difficult to come by than it ever used to be. We're so suspicious of new businesses and websites popping up because it's quick and easy just to set one up and make false claims, use stock imagery. So how do we address that? In a recent study by Deloitte, 26% of millennials say they have zero trust in new businesses, and they crave interacting with businesses and brands that display genuine authenticity and social responsibility. And they want to see those values reflected in the brands they give their hard-earned money to. So, video can be a powerful tool for building trust between your business and prospective and current customers. And your business can leverage the power of video for building trust. And according to a recent survey by Wise Owl, 68% of people prefer to learn about a business or product or through a brand video. And 91% of people aged between 18 and 34 trust reviews as much as they would trust a friend's recommendation. So I'm interested to know what you think. Is that true for you? Put a note in the comments, please, and just give me your feedback. It'd be really interesting to hear your thoughts. So let's look at what different types of videos we can create that will really help build that connection with our audience, but most importantly, to build trust. So if we look at that, I've got some topics here of different videos, and I just want to run them by you, and we'll discuss those. So, for example, customer testimonials. So, Alanda, I'm interested. What's your thoughts from a digital marketing perspective on those type of videos?
Well, before I even get into the aspect of the videos, I'll lead myself into that. Customer testimonials now is of utmost importance for brands.
Yeah.
You're getting an emotional and a direct perspective of an experience from someone who's actually interacted or used a brand, a product or service.
Yeah.
Right. There are lots of different third-party services out there that allow you to do star ratings and comments, and lots of people actually in the past used to put their own testimonials on their websites to help things actually look a bit better. So now with video, you can actually have more authenticity. So you're actually seeing the customer, the client, you're getting that emotional effect from them. Everything that comes out from a client, if they're really passionate about a brand, you can see that in a video.
Yeah.
Right, in a video testimonial. You can't get that in a text or in a 5-star rating.
Yeah.
So I think it's so important now having customer testimonials using video. right?
Yeah.
You can capture everything.
Yeah. No, I think that's a really good point, and I totally agree with you. And there's different ways one could do that. So we get asked this question quite often, and you can either get your customers to use their iPhones or um, Android phones. Don't want to promote iPhones.
Yeah.
Use their phones.
Yeah.
So many people have all got smartphones. They're often good quality, and ask them to do a short testimonial and get them to send it over to you. And you can post that in different places. So you could also give them a few tips on how to set up their cameras and their lighting and things like that. And that can be really useful. Orlando, where would you say those sort of videos are best placed, best promoted?
Well, there's many different platforms. Obviously, one is your website. That's your
Sure.
your shop window. That's open 24/7.
Yeah.
And now with consumers being online a lot more, people are shopping at different hours from midnight to midday.
Yeah.
So having that on your website constantly is key.
Yeah.
I would say social media platforms. So if for example, you're on Instagram, you have it on your IG Live, on your highlights, something that's there permanently, because people
Yeah.
always check what kind of presence you have on social media.
Yeah.
If you also have a YouTube channel, it's good to have that there as well. So
Yeah.
as many places as possible, because there's so many different platforms now,
Yeah.
and customers, clients, people who are shoppers, everyday shoppers, looking for different experiences,
Yeah.
tend to use different platforms. So you want to try and cater for everybody, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing, of course, you could get several of these testimonials and you could put them together in a short little show reel. So that can sit really nicely on your website. And that really helps drive the authenticity of your brand.
Yeah, definitely.
So cool. Another one is to showcase your team, showcase them on camera. Orlando, give us your thoughts on that.
Oh, I quite like this one.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm quite photogenic, but I tend to put myself in front of a camera, as I'm doing now, all the time.
Is that photogenic or is that videogenic? Is that a word?
I'll use the one that I know, photogenic, which applies to video. Yeah, so, and let me get a bit closer to that, so the screen, so you can see all the features of my face.
Enhance the photogenicness, please, Orlando.
Exactly. And I didn't actually shave today. So showcasing your team, so gone are the days where it's a nice photo and, it's employee of the month type thing.
Yeah.
Again, it's nice to have, and it's good for those employees or those team members to be recognized.
Yeah.
And not everybody is comfortable in front of the camera. So I would say for those who are not comfortable, obviously, nice picture, and then we can tell a story around it. But I would always recommend or go for the team to the camera, so you can actually get a little bit of about who they are, how they are, their personality, but before you even meet them. So when a client or prospective client is looking at your social your social channels, your website, they've actually interacted with your team to some extent before you're actually meeting them.
Yeah. And of course, it sort of gets around that thing of people using stock imagery and everything, because you can see these are genuine people, and you can hear them, see them, and you almost feel like you're interacting with them more. So it just brings that genuineness there. And I think people are often, we're all self-conscious, but in reality, I think people are quite forgiving. When you watch a video, what we think are like these weird quirks about ourselves, people aren't really interested in that. It's kind of often how it makes you feel rather than anything. That's the lasting thing that stays with us.
Yes.
So I think that genuineness, the truth and honesty there is way more powerful than the odd little twitch.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. And I'm my worst critic, right? So I don't like what I look like, or when I listen to my voice, I'm like, oh my God, is that me? But I
That's
think
because you do have lots of twitches, you know.
I, I, I do. So, um, no, but really, you need to put yourself out there. You need to step outside of your comfort zone sometimes and put yourself out there in order to actually sell yourself, sell the story, and actually capture those people who you're really trying to reach.
Yeah. And I think there's another really interesting thing that I often say to people is, we kind of, if we show slightly a little bit of vulnerability, if we even allow ourselves to appear slightly unconfident, if that's naturally how we are, I think people actually warm to that, rather than us trying to put on this fake, well polished. And I think people, they like that authenticity, and that in itself builds trust. But you've got to be prepared to allow that slight vulnerability to come through.
Yeah.
Warts and all, this is who I am, and I think people actually warm to that.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Not to take away from your expertise and people like yourself who have spent years and years and years developing your skill behind the camera.
I'm not sure about that, but behind the camera or in front of the camera?
Both.
All right.
I don't want to reveal your age here by saying over 20 years, etc. A hint. But yeah, so sometimes just having that little bit of rawness, as you said, with your phone, as long as you know you get the right lighting, you have a nice little script, so you don't waffle. You actually hit all the points that you want to get across within a time frame. If it's going to be for let's say a TikTok or an Instagram reel or a 30-second video or an advert, that you get it all done and all the messages are concise and clear.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's a really good point, actually, Orlando, because yes, agreed. But as you say, you can use an expert. So although we've just talked about creating your own content, if you are very unsure and you're unsure about the technology and the quality, how to come across, what to say, and things like that, that's where people, do use companies like ourselves, because we can help you with scripting things. So just to make sure you're covering some key points, give it a little bit of a structure. We can use auto cue, etc. So that can really help people that in the early days, that aren't sure or a bit unconfident. You give them like a little bit of it gives them practice of how to be in front of the camera and how to present themselves. So that can sort of be quite encouraging in the early days, and then you can, once you build up that confidence a bit more, you can then create your own content, and we help people show them how to do that. So that's, of course, another option.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So my next question. Oh well, behind the scenes video content. So well, this is one of my favorites, but
mine as well.
yeah. Okay. You got too many favorites now.
Yeah. I definitely like behind the scenes.
So yeah, your thoughts on that?
That is where let me take it back. So I watch a lot of movies, and I like to see all the bloopers and the edits, right?
Yeah.
Because that shows you the processes that people go through to get to the end result.
Yeah.
Right. So behind the scenes can be used, obviously, for actual content to show, look, this is what we've done. This is what the team was up to. There's a bit of fun. There's a bit of laughter, a bit of crying, whatever the case is, to show this is the pain or whatever we went through to create this for you guys.
Yeah.
But it's to see what happens, as you said, behind the scenes, right? To create this actual final take.
Yeah.
Which people don't see and don't know what is involved, really.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fantastic analogy, actually, because we love that, don't we? We love that you get to the end of the movie and you see the behind the scenes and you see the funny bits or the bits that go horribly wrong or all those kind of things, because it helps us really connect, with those people. Well, as the actors, as real people.
Yes.
And, you start to build an emotional connection then, don't you, as well? So, And I think that's a really good analogy, actually. And I often find, which is quite interesting, which is probably you can talk about, but from a digital marketing perspective, that type of content tends to get like way more interactions, shares and views and likes I found than some of the most polished content we create for clients. So yeah, we always on our productions shoot some behind the scenes footage. It can be quite a good lead into an ad that's going to come out, or some video content that's going to come out for a client, to be used as a teaser. But I think it is some of the most engaging. We get some great responses from that, don't we, Orlando?
Oh yeah, definitely. And sometimes, I mean, you need to be so careful that you don't actually get more interaction from your behind the scenes than from the actual final production. So it's actually formulating those behind the scenes. So it's snippets. It's as you said, a build up to, or a lead up to, or even after the fact. This is the launch of the ad campaign or the
Yeah,
corporate video or whatever, and people get familiar with it, and then
yeah,
you share. Right, this is how it actually happened, guys.
yeah,
So you saw 30 seconds of it, but it
yeah,
took us 2 days of
yeah,
planning, of prepping, of lighting, moving things around,
yeah,
people forgetting their lines, and so on and so forth. And
yeah,
getting those into little snippets where you pull out the funny bits or the emotional bits or the painstaking bits that
yeah.
the audience can actually engage with and say, oh, right. And they really resonate with that stuff.
Yeah, totally agree. We've just had a question come in here, Orlando, from a lady who owns a fashion brand. And she's asking what sort of video content should she be creating to help build trust with her potential clients and indeed her ongoing customers.
So fashion, a very competitive market,
Quite, yeah.
definitely. Yeah. And Tim, you've shot a lot of fashion,
Yeah,
done a lot of fashion shoots in the past. So in terms of videos, there's different elements you can put to it. So it's actually trying to create a sense of ownership. So let's say it's women's wear or men's wear, is actually having a model put those items on in different sizes, because obviously everyone, if I'm a size medium to large, and there's size small and size XL. So you
yeah,
want to be able to see yourself in that item of clothing,
yeah,
right? So I know it can be quite difficult, but again, it depends on your target audience. So if your audience is quite petite, or it's plus size or curvy or whatever the case is,
yeah,
then you just focus on that and you put the model there so that that person can see themselves. Oh, that's what I would look like,
yeah,
because I can identify with that person in terms of their shape and size.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know.
And one of the types of videos in the fashion industry that we create a lot of are editorial videos. So there might be, your short 20, 30-second video. We also will put those together into a longer piece. So it becomes like the online video lookbook. And like Orlando's saying, that helps people imagine themselves in those environments, in those clothes, and how they work together.
Yeah.
So it's not just a random piece of clothing that's a white cutout on the website. It allows people to interact with the brand more. So I think that kind of thing is good. And also leading on from what Orlando is saying is, stylist videos. So where you've got, your real stylist and they're kind of talking about the garments, the brand, how they can be worn and put together. So that is a really great way for people to engage with your brand more. So great. Okay, brilliant. Thank you for that question. Next, highlighting your industry and speaking to the experts. So, Orlando, tell me your thoughts.
Um, where should I start on this, Tim? I think we've been doing this now for quite a few years, haven't we? On different platforms, speaking
Yeah,
to the experts, whether it be via webinars or Zoom lives or whatever the case is. It's another way of putting yourself out there. It's some people, again, like myself, I started off by, I'm really good at putting pen to paper, doing the research and getting things out there. But I
Yeah.
had to put myself outside my comfort zone again,
Yeah.
and then start presenting that in front of potential clients or other directors, etc.
Yeah.
And that's no different from actually putting yourself now in front of a camera. You're actually reaching to a wider audience, and you can actually speak to people globally.
Yeah.
And that is obviously, having it recorded, it can be shown again and again and again. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel every time.
Yeah.
Your piece of content, the work that you put into creating that sort of highlight or piece around your expertise in whatever
Yeah.
industry or area that you're specialized in, um, can be there forever. It can be
Yeah.
timeless because of video.
Yeah. I think that's right. And, a lot of people are trying to understand, your industry, your business. And it could be whether you're an accountant, mortgage company, or fashion brands or health industry. But they don't know what your niche is necessarily.
Mm,
And so creating video content around that can help sort of bring awareness to what your industry does,
yeah,
but also where you are within that, what your niche is within that. So that can be quite
yeah,
powerful. And you can either be doing your own video blogs, or you can do what we call talking to the experts. So you could be doing a discussion with other people within your teams, or external people that are talking, a bit broader about the industry that's relevant to you and what you do.
yeah,
So just all of that, again, highlights your industry, highlights your business, and is also giving you authenticity and positioning yourself as knowledgeable people in within what you're doing. Again, it helps build trust.
yeah. It shows your expertise, doesn't it, as well?
Yeah,
Not just knowledge of the industry, but your expertise,
yeah,
as I said, in the particular niches that you want to
yeah,
showcase, really.
yeah, absolutely. So great. Okay, nice one. Next, I've got, that leads nicely on to demonstrating your expertise.
Yeah.
So,
So exactly that. So not just speaking about your industry, but
yeah,
actually showcasing how well how knowledgeable you are within that particular area or field,
yeah,
um, and having that on video, as I
yeah,
said, hosted on different platforms, is
yeah,
timeless. You don't
yeah,
have to redo it every time. And other people everyone could share in your knowledge and expertise.
yeah, yeah,
You are trying to obviously get paid for, if you're a consultant, you want to get paid for some of this. So you don't give all of it away, but you share enough that people
yeah,
think, oh my God, I understand this now. I think
yeah,
I need some support. I need some
yeah,
advice. I need some help. And this person or these people have shown me that from these videos. So I
yeah,
definitely want to get in touch.
yeah. I mean, I find that interesting, like you're saying, don't give everything away. And I think people are too nervous of that. And, I think what I've learned is that, even if you, whatever tell people however much you can help them, at the end of the day, that's great for some people. But for a lot of people, they're too busy, they've got too much on their plate, and they just need to know you really know and you're the person to go to. But they actually want the expert to do it, and rather than trying to do it themselves. So I think giving, generosity, I think, is the whole key to all of this, and to all your content is that really, how helpful can you be? um, Another interesting point I wanted to make is, it's all very well giving information, to show you're an expert, give information. But really, we want to go beyond information, because the internet is saturated with information. So what's the difference? We need to give wisdom. So
Yes.
what is wisdom? Wisdom is your personal take on it from your life's experience. So what you've learned, so you've taken in all this information, you've tried all this stuff out, and what you've found really works. And what your advice is from that perspective, from your worldview, is, in your eyes anyway,
Yeah,
wisdom. And
yeah,
so the more we can share that, the more relevant it is, the more useful it is to people. So yeah, I feel quite passionate about that as well.
yeah, yeah. I totally agree. Obviously, some things you have to take with a pinch of salt because um, I believe I'm quite knowledgeable in my field. I don't know everything, but I'm trying to keep up to date because, as you said, things keep evolving and changing all the time, and it's hard to keep up with that. But I focus on the areas that uh, I'm really passionate about, and I expand
Yeah,
my knowledge based on that, and that's what I will continue to share. I don't want
yeah,
to try and be master of all. So people, and there are other people who are within the similar fields who might think, oh, that's a different um, frame of thought,
yeah,
or yeah, I agree with that, or I disagree with that. And
yes,
I don't mind people disagreeing with things that I put forward from a professional perspective, because then that might actually show me a different take on things, or it brings up a bit of what's the word? Nice way to put it. Not conversation, but a bit of
yeah,
exploration with different
yeah,
minds.
yeah. Well, an interesting note on that, with creativity, if everyone agreed with you, there would be no creativity. So, you need a bit of pushback, you need a bit of a challenge to perfect and to make things better, to make things different. And then that's how creativity grows.
Yeah,
So, yeah, totally with you on that, Orlando. Totally agree. Good point.
brilliant.
Right, moving on. I've got showcase products and services.
Okay. Now, I before I purchase any item,
Yeah,
I look at the reviews, and
yeah,
I 99% of the time end up on YouTube looking at people using it, unboxing,
yeah,
and get their reviews and testimonials
yeah,
of the use of the service or product.
yeah,
Uh, and some of the really good websites, the larger brands, for example, let's just say Argos, because I was just looking for a scooter for my daughter.
right.
Um, they have a
I
lot
hope
of.
she's not watching this.
I
You
hope
let the
she
cat
is.
out of the bag.
Yeah, so some of the product they show product videos, obviously, so kids using the scooters and how it falls down, how it stops, etc., etc. And then from there, I will actually go on to read the reviews, and again end up on YouTube because I see
Yeah,
different people, not just from the brand's perspective, but people who've purchased that particular product. And how they've used it, and if their experience is exactly the same with what the company's
yeah,
video
yeah,
said.
yeah. I think that's really good, Orlando, because from content creators' perspective, um, and and you're talking from the perspective of being a buyer, and I think
Yeah,
that's so true. When you look at what you do, what's your buying habits, because that's probably what everyone else is doing as well. So
exactly.
you might go to Argos, Amazon, wherever you're looking, and you've got, like, let's say you go to Amazon and there's lots of people selling similar things. So, how do you know which is the right one for you, and which brand are you going to trust?
Mm,
Where's it going to come from? How long is it going to take to get to you? But you look at through all these images. We've got so used to research now
mm,
because there's so much out there, and we'll go through all different images. And is there a little video to watch? And then you see a little bit of video, and you're going, yeah, that is definitely going to be that's going to work for me. That's going to be the right thing for me, as opposed to it might be the same product and it might be a bit cheaper, but they've got one image.
yeah,
Which one do you buy? I always go with the one that's got a ton of information, a ton of
exactly.
a ton of images, a video, and I'm like, because I've built trust. I'm like, I know what I'm buying, and I know it's the right thing for me.
Yeah,
And then that's what everyone else is doing as well. So when people are asking us to create content, that's the analogy I would give, and that's why I would say to create that type of content and a lot
Exactly.
of it.
Yeah. Take it from the perspective of the buyer in
Yeah.
order to create the the content that you require.
Yeah,
That's a rhyme
exactly.
there. You get the rhyme.
Yeah. So, of course, my next one is go live, as we are now. So, Orlando.
Going live. I've tried this before in a previous life, and it didn't go very well. So everything was pre-recorded and then put out there as if it was live, but it wasn't, because it's quite daunting, to sit in front of a camera with or your laptop or your phone or whatever device you're using to speak to the world. You don't know who's going to be there. You don't know what kind of questions you're going to get. But as long as you're obviously you're comfortable and confident in what you're talking about, you have nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
You talk about topics, subject matters that you are knowledgeable about, that you are
Yeah.
passionate about, that you can talk about for hours, like we can do, Tim, and certain things. And it doesn't matter what questions are thrown at you. You will have an answer for it. And if you don't have an answer for it, then you get back to that person, because you can't know everything. It's not possible.
Yeah.
So I would say for everyone who's thinking about going live, there are so many different platforms out there. So Tim, we're using Restream, and it's not the simplest program to use. I'm glad you're the one responsible for the technical side of things, but you can actually liaise with and interact with people on a global perspective. You don't have
Yeah.
to leave the comfort of your office or your home or be in the same country to
Yeah.
have these sessions anymore.
Yeah.
And it's good to have someone like, I would say, someone with a bit of knowledge for how to use these services
Yeah.
to showcase your expertise, your brand, your product, whatever it is that you need to.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, I think, people can see you and hear you and, all your little quirkiness and what have you. And so when they do actually meet you on a Zoom call or face to face, they're already kind of much more familiar with you. And I think it helps sort of bridge those sort of emotional connections and those gaps there. And again, it starts to, trust's already starting to build. And, they're already knowing you a little bit.
Yeah.
I was talking to my wife earlier and she's like, I don't know how you could do it. You're going live. And I'm like, well, the fact is we know what we're talking about. I know my subject, you know your subject.
Mm-hmm.
And so actually just be yourself, just talk about what you know about and just live in that comfort zone of that, of that confidence,
Yeah.
if I was, doing a live about architecture and I don't actually know a lot about it,
Yeah.
then my confidence levels would be really low. So, you're running these businesses, you do know what you're talking about. You are, an expert in what you do. Do a live on your niche and talk about that. And that would be my advice there.
Definitely. And I would say if you don't know how to do it, then you get in touch, because you can do, Facebook Live and Instagram Lives. But then you have different platforms where like these, where you may need a bit of support, and that's what we're here for, to try and help.
Yeah. And the truth is, it's not difficult. And yes, it's way easier if someone just quickly shows you around or how to set it up, cuts down a lot of the guesswork, trial and error. But these things aren't that difficult. So we can
Speak for
certainly
yourself.
help. Yeah. I've done the legwork, but
Yeah.
as Orlando says, just reach out if you need any advice. Another one I've put down is sending direct videos. And I did do a little video blog on this. And you can pop them in emails, use them on LinkedIn platforms in direct messaging. So, Orlando, your thoughts?
I quite like sending direct video messages. again, it's gone a step beyond the voice message. Let's say a WhatsApp voice message.
Yeah.
Sending the video messages, you can see all the little quirks.
Yeah.
You can actually get a feel for the person, and the environment. And to be honest, and this might be a tip for some employers now with all the work from home,
Yeah.
remote working tactics.
Yeah.
It's good to get these messages on board, so you can actually quite sneakily see where your team is.
Yeah.
I'm not on the beach somewhere actually saying, well, yes, I'm actually behind my at home behind my desk. I mean, the work is still getting done, but I'm literally on the beach.
Yeah, I'm not sure companies are too worried these days as long as the work gets done.
Exactly.
But again, if anyone needs any advice on that, I can point you to the video I did on it. But there's different services you can use, like I use Vimeo, and you can have a certain package on Vimeo that's free, but you can use a live. Well, you can go live on it, but I was going to say you can do short video recordings. Also, from that, it can create a little GIF. You get a link, and you can pop that into an email. It plays a little GIF of you going like "hello," and people can click on it, and it will play a video message. So it's very fast, very quick. You can do it instantly, and then it will just play on the Vimeo platform. But it does that all within an email. And likewise, that link you can just pop into, let's say, as I say, LinkedIn. They'll see the little GIF playing. It's very visual, very interactive, and you can do quick thank yous or anything like that, just to give quick feedback. And it's just very engaging, and it just bridges those gaps, especially when a lot of us are still working from home, or companies have decided that's the way we're going to carry on working. I think these sort of tools are fantastic and really worth using.
Definitely, 100%.
So that's amazing. That's been really, really good. I hope you guys have felt that useful. So do you have any wrap up comments, Orlando, for us?
I would say that video marketing is, I wouldn't say it's just the future. It's part of who we are as individuals, as professionals, and it's something that everyone should embrace. Forget the fact that you don't like what you sound like on camera,
Yeah.
or what you look like on video. It's all about authenticity.
Yeah.
It's about putting yourself just outside your comfort zone.
Yep.
And achieving great things through video.
Yeah, exactly. So I think some tips from me as well in conclusion is, don't sell at people or create ridiculous offers and discounts begging for business. Be genuine, be authentic. Create videos that attract people to your brand. So thank you so much for all watching. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to Orlando. So next week, we'll share how the video production went with Gary that we will have been filming, and we'll show you some behind the scenes clips from the production. And join us next week, same time, same place, Tuesday, 12:30. Thank you for tuning in.
Bye, everyone.